It started with a single video, grainy, shaky, but powerful enough to set the internet ablaze. A few seconds of laughter, music, and then a kiss that no one could ignore. Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe, side by side at what appeared to be a wrap party for Outlander, leaning in under the glow of amber lights. The crowd cheered, glasses clinked, and someone yelled, "Just one for the fans." But it wasn't scripted. It wasn't part of a scene. It was real, or at least, it looked real enough to ignite a firestorm that no one could contain. Within hours, the clip spread like wildfire across Twitter, TikTok, and fan forums. Millions of views, thousands of comments. "Was that supposed to happen?" one fan asked. "That's not acting anymore," another replied. And just like that, a moment that may have been innocent became a headline around the world. Caitriona Balfe and Sam Heughan caught in scandalous kiss, fans stunned. The timing couldn't have been worse. Caitriona was married, happily, at least as far as the public knew. Her husband, Paul McGill, had always stayed out of the spotlight, rarely appearing with her at events. But now, the silence around their relationship felt deafening. Paparazzi swarmed. Every outlet wanted a statement. Was the marriage in trouble? Had something happened on set? For fans who had watched Outlander for nearly a decade, this wasn't just another Hollywood rumor. It was a collision between fantasy and reality. Sam and Caitriona had spent years portraying one of the most passionate on-screen couples in television history. Their chemistry was electric, their bond undeniable. Interviews were filled with teasing smiles and knowing glances. Fans joked that their connection felt too real. Now, that joke didn't feel funny anymore. The clip appeared to come from a private cast gathering, a celebration after filming the final episode of a season. Someone in the crowd had recorded it without their knowledge. At first, the energy was lighthearted, everyone laughing, dancing, singing. Then came that unexpected moment, the kiss that changed everything. Reporters described it as brief but intimate. To some, it looked like a spontaneous gesture, an innocent toast to years of friendship. To others, it was something far more serious, a glimpse into a hidden emotional world the two stars had tried to keep buried for years. By the next morning, speculation reached fever pitch. Entertainment blogs published timelines of their friendship, analyzing every interaction, every photo, every interview where Sam had called Caitriona, "my soulmate." One headline read, "Was it just acting? A decade of tension between Sam Heughan and Caitriona Balfe." Insiders claimed the video had been circulating among crew members for weeks before it leaked. "It wasn't supposed to get out," one said. "They were just celebrating. It was a moment that got misunderstood." But fans weren't convinced. Some argued that the chemistry between them had always crossed professional boundaries. Others defended them fiercely. "They're like family. You can't fake 10 years of trust and emotion like that." Meanwhile, Caitriona disappeared from public view. Her usual posts promoting projects or charity work stopped abruptly. A magazine reported that she had cancelled a scheduled appearance, citing personal reasons. In Hollywood, those two words often mean everything and nothing at once. Paul, her husband, was spotted alone in London, looking tense. One paparazzi shot captured him without his wedding ring, a small detail, but enough to fuel even more rumors. "He's devastated," a source claimed. "He never expected something like this. Their relationship has been under pressure for a while, but this broke the trust." Sam, on the other hand, remained silent. No comments, no denials, no clarifications. He kept working, kept posting generic updates about fitness and travel, but fans could tell something was off. The usual light in his eyes during interviews was missing. The more they stayed quiet, the louder the noise became. Entertainment reporters began calling it the kiss that broke the internet. Fan accounts dissected the clip frame by frame, analyzing every expression, every touch, every millisecond between them. But the most haunting moment came when an old behind-the-scenes interview resurfaced. In it, Sam smiled when asked about working with Caitriona. "She's my partner in crime," he said. "Sometimes the line between us and our characters blurs, but that's what makes it magic." That line, "The line blurs," became the headline everywhere. By the end of the week, what began as a 15-second video had turned into a full-blown storm. Fans, journalists, and even castmates were drawn into the conversation. No one knew where the truth ended and speculation began. And just when people thought the story couldn't get any more complicated, a new photo surfaced, another moment, another kiss, captured long before anyone knew. A whisper turned into a question. Was this really the first time, or had it been happening all along? The world was already spinning from the first clip, but the second photo changed everything. It wasn't recent. It wasn't from a party. It was from years earlier, hidden in plain sight. A behind-the-scenes still from an early season of Outlander, showing Sam and Caitriona in a quiet corner, his hand resting lightly against her cheek. It looked innocent, tender, but paired with the new footage, it felt like proof of something deeper. The internet did what it always does, it turned fragments into narratives. Fan theories filled Reddit threads. Body language experts appeared on TikTok, slowing down frames, measuring glances, claiming they could see real affection. Every story asked the same question: had the line between acting and reality blurred long ago? While the world speculated, Caitriona was silent. She hadn't posted, hadn't appeared, hadn't spoken a single word. The silence grew heavy, almost louder than the noise around her. Paparazzi waited outside her home in Dublin. Journalists camped outside the studio lot in Glasgow. Each time she was spotted, her face hidden behind sunglasses, the headlines screamed, "Caitriona avoids questions about Heughan kiss." Then, one morning, a statement arrived. Short, measured, carefully crafted. The recent video has been taken out of context. Sam and I have shared 10 years of friendship and respect as co-stars. What happened was a playful, light-hearted moment among friends, nothing more. I ask for kindness and understanding toward everyone involved. To the press, it was damage control. To fans, it was heartbreak. The words felt distant, polite, professional, but cold. Many sensed what wasn't written: exhaustion, pain, maybe regret. Paul McGill, her husband, remained completely out of sight. But according to one magazine, he had moved out temporarily to give her space. Another outlet claimed their marriage had hit a difficult crossroad. No one knew what was true, but the air around Caitriona felt heavy with consequence. As for Sam, he finally broke his silence a few days later, during a fan convention in Edinburgh. Dressed simply, smiling faintly, he addressed the inevitable question. "I know there's been a lot of talk," he began. "Caitriona is one of my best friends. We've been through everything together: laughter, tears, 10-hour shooting days in freezing rain. That bond means a lot. But please, don't confuse what you see on screen, or even off, for something it isn't." He paused, the audience quiet. Then, softer. "Sometimes chemistry makes people believe in love stories. Maybe that's the magic of what we do." It was graceful, disarming, and yet it left the room tinged with melancholy, as though he had said everything and nothing at all. The headlines shifted tone. Sam Heughan responds with class. Caitriona and Sam close ranks after kiss scandal. The on-screen lovers who can't escape the story they created. Still, whispers lingered. A crew member anonymously told a tabloid that the connection between them has always been palpable. Another hinted that boundaries blurred during intense filming seasons. Whether those claims were true or not didn't matter anymore. The perception had taken root. For Caitriona, the cost was heavier. Friends described her as drained but determined. In one rare sighting, she appeared at a charity event without her wedding ring. The photo spread instantly. Underneath the image, someone commented, "You can fake smiles, but not eyes." Weeks passed. The frenzy slowly cooled, replaced by quiet reflection. Some fans began to regret their obsession. Others defended her fiercely, reminding everyone that she was more than a headline. A professional who had given a decade of her life to a show that blurred reality for all of them. In a heartfelt podcast interview months later, Caitriona finally spoke again. Not directly about the scandal, but about the toll of public scrutiny. You give so much of yourself to a character that people start to forget where she ends and you begin, she said. And sometimes, you forget it too. When asked if she still spoke to Sam, she smiled softly. Always. He's family. There was no bitterness in her tone, only a quiet sadness, the kind that follows something that once burned too brightly. The scandal that had once dominated every feed now lived only in whispers. Sam and Caitriona returned to work, professional as ever, their performances deeper, almost haunted. Fans noticed the change, a fragility beneath the surface, an unspoken truth lingering in every glance. And though both continued to deny that anything more ever happened, one undeniable fact remained. That single kiss, real or misunderstood, had changed everything. It blurred art and life, love and loyalty, truth and performance. It reminded the world that sometimes the greatest stories aren't written in scripts. They happen in the silence between two people who can no longer hide what their eyes have already confessed.